Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Backpacktrader training room crude oil inventory report session for Wednesday, October 18th, 2023. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not to be considered individual financial advice. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds that you can afford to do without. All right. Less than a minute before the report, and just barely, about 50 seconds. Chart on the right is the full crude contract on Spotlight using the 8-cent momentum bar for TradeStation users, 8-tick range bar for NinjaTrader. Upper left is unleaded gas. We're all of these are in the December contract. Unleaded gas also on Spotlight using a 20-tick range bar for NinjaTrader or a .002 momentum bar on TradeStation. Lower left is Counterpunch, and their report just came out. So that's our low, and setting. See where it goes. Okay, that's at least well. Then it bounces back up some more. Strong up move. Actually, I guess that's my session low right there. That's our reaction range, it looks like. Unleaded is now flat, stopping out of that early trade. We have a potential long trade. Looks like target 2 is a 10-tick minimum. Is that right? Nope. There it is. It's in the stop from the old trade. We are in our session now. Short trade. There are our targets and stop on the crude chart. Unleaded also in, well, let's see. Yep, unleaded in the short as well. Target 2. Unleaded will be one and done. It's got target 2. A long trade canceled. No trade on the long there. Then we pick up a short that has hit money management and target 2. So trailing now. Target 1 in the books. So all 3 charts are going to be one and done this morning. And there is our second target on crude. So 34 ticks, 13 and 21. Quick session this morning. Unleaded picking up target 1, 34 ticks, target 2, 53. Stop now at 81. I would probably push that to 80. Yeah, I'd push that to 83. Give it a couple of ticks above that high swing. I think, well, there it goes out at 78 or 83, whichever you chose. So almost a target 3. And stopping out at the break-even stop. No, it's not. That's not break even. It's at 87.02 on the 377 tick long trade or short trade. All 3 charts giving us short trades and being successful. All 3 one-dones. That was a quick session. Any comments or questions? That was about as quick as you're going to see. That's a get in sync. 31.46 was the setup, but then 32 happened right in here, so we picked it up. You're quite welcome, Pamela. We did pick up the short on the get in sync on crude. And just stopped out for a couple of ticks on the trailer. But primary targets 1 and 2. By our trade plan, that's 2 fixed targets. 33 ticks on the morning. 34 ticks on the morning. Pick up 16 ticks on target, 87.09 to 87.02. We pick up 7, 23 ticks on the 377 tick, and a solid winner on unleaded. Yes, that definitely worked out really well, Paul. Whichever of the 3 charts you traded, that was a one and done session. And let's see this. A minute 50 on that one. That one stopped out 2.5 minutes on unleaded, and we stopped out actually, yeah, I call it 2 minutes 50 on unleaded, And 377 tick counterpunch was about just over 3 minutes, about 3:15. So none of the three charts taking more than 3 minutes to finish this morning. That's a successful session. Okay, good. What strategy are you trading NQ on, Paul? I noticed a bit of a noisy period in there right around all right. So are you going to make the 11 to 12 session tomorrow? Troy has a session 11 to 12 tomorrow morning, Eastern time, that is. Because we're working on an unreleased strategy, I really can't talk a whole lot about that in here. I'm certainly welcome to ask questions. There are a whole bunch of videos that have been generated on that so far. Also, you probably want to take a look at the Colombian Sessions site, because you'll need to make sure you're on that site as well to get access to the sessions that Troy is doing now, what he's calling New York sessions, but they're using that Zoom meeting. Yeah, it's been interesting. We're in the midst of testing some different markets on that as well. Members of the CEO Trader Mastermind getting a chance to see what goes into developing a strategy. Which platform do you trade on, Paul? Now, you can use Renko bars on most any of Troy's strategies, but we are concentrating on the Renko bars on this new one. Okay. You will need to go ahead and pick up an Ikimoku Cloud indicator for Ninja. That's not native to Ninja, unfortunately. All right. Then you should be all set. Okay. How expensive is that one, Paul? I've seen some down to like normal price of about $40, and then they'll go on sale for like $20. But I'm using one done by Lizard Indicators. There is an ES plan for Catapult, Neil, but I'm not displaying that because I'm having some issues getting ES bid historic data on minute for minute charts for some reason, and that's the only one I'm having a problem with. But I can get tick dated for ES just fine, but I'm having a problem with the minute data for the 5-minute chart on that one. But that's part of a library that's like $195 for the access to the full library. But I know I'm not using the Lizard Premium indicator. I'm just using the basic. It's part of the library. I was already in the library I'd gotten something else, so it didn't cost me anything more for the Ikimoku Cloud. Yeah, $297 to $14.97 is pretty steep. That's that's as much as NinjaTrader lifetime license now for the for the platform itself. Yeah, anything of it can be slow moving, as you noticed this morning. Pound Aussie and soybeans were really slow. And you might try some tests with some range bars or something like that. It just kind of, market speed just depends on what's going on in the market a lot of times. But yes, having to always wait 5 minutes between bars can be definitely be kind of slow. Yeah, the difficult part of the fact that NinjaTrader doesn't have a native Ikimoku cloud is programming the indicator, the calculator for Ninja. He has to pick one to use to program the calculator. So that can make things a little bit more difficult. There is not a calculator yet on the new strategy that we're working on CEO Mastermind, or CEO Trader Mastermind. But yes, if depending on which how you entered the CEO Trader Mastermind group, you should have access to either I believe just Catapult or everything. So you'll just need to get access through the Kartra portal to the different strategies that you have based on your. Okay, you went for everything. So you may need to request access, but you should be able to go to the owner site for CEO Mastermind, and you should be, if you don't have them. Let's see. It shouldn't be that. The only one that's that old is Counterpunch, I think. Spotlight is 28. Let's see. I've got an old Spotlight. Yes, I've got an old Spotlight at December 18. Yeah, they're definitely still good. That's as I was doing mostly Spotlight this morning, Spotlight and Counterpunch. The Counterpunch, yeah, is 12/29/16 is the latest on that. That's 2 or 3 strategies ago, but it's still a solid strategy. Don't 377 tick is certainly not the only chart you can use it with. We've used it with the 8 tick range or something like that. But Catapult then is later. Those are the Catapult modules are started in about 20 somewhere in 2020, because that was around Troy did those around the time of COVID. And then the Catapult Extreme, which covers all modules of Catapult, all markets with Catapult, just came out fairly recently, so that should be fairly recent. And we're using pieces of that to visualize some things in the new cloud control strategy. Okay, yeah, Catapult. Which Catapult module did you get, Paul? Because it originally came out in a market by market, but the Catapult Extreme now, which you definitely should have access to, however you got into CEO Trader Mastermind. Extreme hadn't been out that long. Okay, so you got the TA. Yeah, the Extreme hasn't been out, 6 or 8 months. Because that actually was a release after CEO Trader Mastermind started. Hey, you still have them then. And Extreme might be a year old, but I don't think it's. Yeah, when we first started working on cloud control was about June, and Extreme came out just before that, I think. So right around, maybe around the first or second quarter of the year. But yes, Catapult's basically a 1 bar setup. I kind of like the price. The trades basically tend to be a little smaller, but you can run on some slower, longer time frame charts because of that. Because of the 1 bar setups. I look forward to seeing you in the CEO Mastermind sessions. Did you make the session yesterday, noon to 1? Or about noon to 1:30, well, it ended up being. Are you talking about Catapult for trading options? That could be very interesting. Yeah, and that's one of the things that Troy mentions is building a group of charts that you look at for trading options. That those are more swing trade type things than they are day trades. Troy's focus is mainly on futures for day trades. But he does a fair amount of. He trades options on swing trades for stock charts. It was interesting. He was showing a chart where he was putting a new strategy on. Yeah, definitely is an issue. Part of that will depend on where in the country you are. If you don't mind getting up early, you can trade before you end up going to work. Oh, okay. So you're in the central time zone. So yeah, you're pretty much at work already by the time things get going. I was in Texas for about 25 years. I was out in Midland. Okay. I just moved. My wife and I left Midland about 3.5 years ago. Oh, you live in Houston, but you're out in Midland right now, huh? So obviously you work in the oil and gas industry. Yeah, I was a landman. Oh, 21 on, 7 off. So you must be, are you on a rig or drilling rig or? Oh, okay, you're in the off. Okay, that's a different schedule. And then you're off for 7 days and start it over again, huh? I imagine that'll keep you pretty busy. Ah, well, I started to say that's pretty much a wrap for the inventory session, guys. Oh my! Well, at least you get to be home with him for a week at a time. So you work in an office in Midland, but you live in Houston. That's a little different. Midland's actually a pretty nice place for mid-career, raise a family. Little tough for early career and for retire place to retire. But it really makes a nice area for mid-career. Well, I actually was the other way around. My wife was in the oil and gas business when we got married, so that's why I moved out there. So once we retired, we actually moved back to my original home. We're in Raleigh, North Carolina now. We were both oil and gas landmen. I became one after moving out there. Learned from her. Yeah, no, I ended up with a 20-year career in it. So. All right, good talking to you, but we need to close this one down, I guess. All right, yeah, that should be interesting in Houston. My wife went to Rice and spent, I think, 13 years in Houston. All right, folks. We will see everybody tomorrow at 9:30. Have a good one.